In this video, we're going to talk about how to share plans that you're working on with others, as well as how to view and even edit plans that have been shared with you. Now, there are four sharing use cases that we're going to discuss in this video. The first is when you're sharing a plan with another person and you really don't care whether or not you keep track of who and when that person goes in and accesses your plan. The second use case is when you're sharing with a person, or even more likely if you're sharing with a large group, and you want to keep track of who has access to your plan. The third case is when you're sharing with a person, but you want to actually allow them to edit and modify the plan that you're in. And the fourth option is sharing within a team. And I'm not going to go into that too much because that tends to be more on the enterprise side and is going to require probably a separate set of videos. Now, a few comments for really the next video. If you want to edit a mission that you're not a collaborator on, you still can do this, but you're going to have to copy that mission into your own repo. And we'll show you how to do that again in the next video. And similarly, if you want to fly a mission that has been shared with you, whether you are a collaborator or whether you're just a straight viewer, you're also going to need to copy that mission to the repo or again be a member of that team. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be logged into two accounts. I'm logged in here under my Dronelink account, and you'll see that because my image is up here in the upper right-hand corner, and I'm looking at this flyby mission that I had done of this house with a pool. And then I'm also going to be logged on here under my test account that I had created in an earlier set of videos where I created a test repo and a public and a private test repo account. So let's start. Let me go back to my Dronelink account and assume that I have this plan right now that I want to share. Now, something that I want to stress, just for the purposes of this discussion, this plan is in a repo called Quick Examples, and Quick Examples right now is a public repo, and that's important for what I'm going to talk about here in a second, but it is a public repo. So if I go into my plans and I pull this thing up, if I want to share this plan, the simplest way to do that is if I just go up to the URL and I copy this, all right? And remember, this will only work if I'm in a public repo. But now I've got that URL copied. If I go back to my other account, so now I'm back again in my hold account, and I paste that URL into this browser, it will open up that plan. Now, I do not have editing capability on this thing. I can only view it. I can preview it if I want. I can click on the mission previewer and pull up the mission previewer. And as I'll show in the next video, we can copy this thing to our own account and edit it that way. But right now, this is a way of sharing a mission with somebody very, very quickly and letting them look and see what you're doing. Now, one point, I'm back again in my Dronelink account. If I was to change this repo from public to private and save it, and then go back to that plan and do the same thing that I did before. If I took this URL and I copied it, let's say I emailed it to somebody or text messaged it to somebody or posted it on a forum, and now I'm back again in my test account. If I paste this URL in, you can see it comes up and tells me that the page is invalid. It won't let me open or view that plan because it's in a private repo. So that was our first use case. We're back again in my Dronelink account. Let's show the way to share an account regardless of whether it's a public or private repo. If I'm in this plan and I click on this ellipse here and I click on share, you'll see an option here for new share. I'm going to click on new share and it's going to ask me whether I want to share it as a contributor or a viewer. Let's first do it as a viewer. And it's going to ask me whether I want to send an email directly from here or get a direct link. Let's do a direct link. It's going to give me a link, and I can take this link and copy it. Okay. So now I have a link, a shareable, trackable link that I can use. And you can see it actually stores here. If I need it again, I can pull it from here. I can resend it, and it's set right now as a viewer. So now let me go back again to my test account. Now I'm going to take that new URL that I got and paste it into the address bar. Now it's a little different. First of all, I get this message that comes up. It says I'm viewing a shared plan. If I want to make changes, you'll have to copy the plan first. I understand. Now this looks and feels just like it did when I passed that URL. I can't edit it. I can copy it. And I can preview it, but that's all I can do. But here's the additional benefit that comes with sharing a mission this way. And I'm going to go back again to my Dronelink account. But you can see immediately that it tells me who has viewed my plan as a viewer. What makes this very interesting is that if I had taken this URL and I posted it to a forum or shared it with a group of people, every single user that pulled up the account would be shown there. You can actually see an account where a whole bunch of different people all viewed the account, whether it's a viewer or a contributor. So it's got a good way to keep track of how many people are viewing your plan. Let's talk about the third use case. This is where I actually want to allow somebody to collaborate. Works the same way as the viewer. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on share. I'm going to click on new share. But now I'm going to create a link as a contributor. I'll do the direct link again. And now I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to go back to, now I'm back again in my test account. I paste that URL into the browser. Now it says, I'm doing a shared plan with contributor access. Any changes you make will be made to the original plan. I understand. So now, even though I'm logged into my test account, if I modify something here, so now I've modified the live version. If I go back to my Dronelink account, you'll see a couple things. First of all, it's now showing that in addition to the test user that opened it as a viewer, this same user opened it up as a contributor. And I can also see the change that they made immediately here. So we're going to talk about copying and moving plans in the next video, but a quick comment on this type of collaboration versus the Teams collaboration. This type of sharing works very effectively with relatively small teams, or if you want to post a plan to a board and share something and get feedback from other users. It's a way, if you have a plan and you want to pass it to somebody, let them edit it, or the two of you can actually edit the plan in real time. It's all very, very useful. If you're part of a larger team and you want to be editing and flying missions as a group, I highly recommend you look into our Teams plans, and we'll have more information about that in a future video. But this is really designed for kind of onesie-twosie back and forth with a smaller team where you're really doing intense collaboration and flying of an individual plan. The Teams planned is a much better approach. And with that, let's move on to copying and moving plans.